So the U.S. government and the Israeli government are claiming that Iran has attacked multiple Saudi oil tankers. And the argument is Iran is becoming belligerent in the Middle East and, they're a rogue nation violating international law. By the way, hilarious, the U.S. would accuse anybody of violating international law. When we do that, it's called Tuesday. It's every day. We just do it, and we're like, shut the fuck up. We get to do what we want. So the claim is, oh my God, Iran, they're so terrible, they're so bad, they're such a rogue state, they're the number one state sponsor of terrorism, which is hilarious they're called that, because of course the number one state sponsor of terror is our buddy Saudi Arabia, who we prop up and back and arm and watch as they commit a genocide and cheer them on, and Hercules, 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 kill your many babies. Sorry if that's harsh, but that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, and it's disgusting. Don't be mad at me, be mad at the fucking people doing it, okay? So, look at the news coming out now on Iran. Let's see if it backs their narrative that, somebody contain them. They're out of control. They're so out of control. Look. Reuters reports, Iran stays within nuclear deal's key limits, IAEA report shows. So even after we have slapped them in the face repeatedly, spit in their eye, we accuse them of shit they didn't do, we're trying to build the case for war by claiming little old America and little old Israel are just acting defensively. They still haven't budged, and they're still following the Iran deal. By the way, just so everybody knows, there were at least a dozen other instances since 2015 of the IAEA reporting that Iran was in full compliance with the nuclear agreement. So every step of the way, Iran was following the agreement. You know who was violating it? Us. So we violated it, then we blame them, and then we try to build a case for war with them to do regime change. Who's the good guy and who's the bad guy here? Now, I'm not saying that domestically they're not terrible. It's the Iranian government. They are terrible domestically. But there's no reflection in the slightest in international affairs. And let's be serious, Iran knows they have a rinky-dink military budget. What are they going to do? They're going to fend off the greatest power the world has ever seen in human history? They're going to do that? They're not going to pick a fight with us. Are you crazy? That's like a little school kid picking on fucking Mike Tyson or some shit. It's not going to happen. They're not going to do it. So we have to pretend like, oh my God, they're so rogue and so crazy. And so anyway, we have to go topple them, right? And then now the reality is shit like this. Now let me ask you, have you heard this anywhere else? Have you heard this story anywhere else? Have you heard it on CNN? Have you heard it on MSNBC? Have you heard it on Fox News? Have you heard it on the nightly news? Seems like a pretty fucking important piece of information when this government is in the midst of trying to make a case to go fucking topple another government. Seems like pretty important, right? Like, oh shit, look at that. They're still following the deal even after we violated it repeatedly. We pulled out of the deal. We slapped them in the face. We accused them of shit they didn't do. They're still following the deal. And what's the media like? Well, my Pentagon sources have told me that Iran is still to blame and they are still the problem, so I am going to report that dutifully. Because you're hacks. Because you're not doing what the media is supposed to do, which is being a watchdog of people in power. You're sycophants to power. I don't know, my Pentagon source says it, so it must be true. Fact check them! God damn it. How I'm a YouTuber, I have to explain this? I have to explain this to people who've been in journalism their entire careers? I have to do that. Credit to Reuters for reporting this, because I haven't seen this almost anywhere else. It's kind of embarrassing that you have to come here to get this news. But again, now you know. Now you know. Now, we're at the point, though, I will warn everybody. We are at the point right now, and I'm telling you in advance, okay? We're at the point now where we have done so much to build up to war with Iran. And we're blaming them for shit they didn't do, and we're cutting off their oil exports and trying to force it to zero, which is in form of economic warfare to try to starve the country and make it so that they try to overthrow their own government. So Iran, now at this point, they've been pushed to the brink. They go, okay, we're going to start enriching. Why? Why are they saying that? Because they want to have a deterrent. Because they know the U.S. wants to topple them. So if they come out and say, no, see, we have a nuke now, that's them saying, now you can't try to topple us, because if you do, who knows, maybe we can fight back. But they've announced, okay, we're going to have to act. We're going to have to fucking enrich now. We're going to pull out of the deal finally at this late date. What'll happen is, when they do that, because this is the last report before they promise to enrich, so the next one will show they're doing more enrichment. Hear me now, quote me later. When they do that, I guarantee you, U.S. media will dutifully report, oh, Iran is enriching uranium and they're trying to get a nuclear weapon. What are they doing? And the whole implication of all the articles will be, oh my God, Trump needs to act. Oh my God, Bolton and Pompeo need to act. Oh my God, what are we waiting for? Go get them, they're enriching, scary, bad, stop them now. And you will know, because I'm telling you in advance, you will know the context of all this. The context is Iran stayed in the deal, even during and after the U.S. was violating it. The U.S. was slapping them in the face. The U.S. was doing economic warfare on them. The U.S. was pushing them to the brink. And then finally they said, fine, we'll enrich. And then it will be framed as Iran is being offensive here. Iran is being aggressive here. And the little old U.S. and little old Israel have to defend ourselves and go topple them. Guarantee you that's the way this is going to unfold. 100%. And very few articles on this, very few coverage of this, they're still following the report. Guarantee you the first time they enrich even slightly above the level, that'll be news everywhere. And they'll use it to build up to the case for regime change, the same way they do it with Venezuela, the same way they've done it already with Iran, the same way they do it elsewhere, Syria, and they'll smear anybody who comes out against them. Look at Tulsi Gabbard. Met with Assad for diplomacy, and she's smeared to this day as like a genocide lover and an Assad apologist. Anybody who's anti-war is smeared. Same thing will happen for Iran. We're watching the buildup right now, and it's disgusting and scary to see, and the media is aiding and abetting it.